Live from Town Square Towers at the heart of the Jersey Shore. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Get up, get out, do something. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Good morning. Good morning. Wake up, Toms River. It is 6:07. It is a beautiful 47 degrees outside, but it is raining cats and dogs. It is definitely a day, as Jeremy would say, for your slicker and your rubber booties. We are joined here this morning on WOBM AM 1160, and please remember to join the conversation at 732-505-1160 with Stephen Glassoff and his teacher, Bruce Vansickle from Ocean County VOTEC. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning. You guys can step up to the mics. If Zach can't hear you, he'll let you know. But hey, great to have you here this morning. I'm sure this is exactly what you wanted to do at 6 o'clock in the morning. And did both of you guys have to get up a little earlier this morning?
Just a little bit, yes, just slightly.
A little bit earlier.
Too much.
So why don't we start? We're going to start with teacher Bruce Vansickle first from Ocean County VOTEC. Tell us a little about yourself. You just told me you're a native Toms River person. You went to Toms River High School North, and how you got into teaching at Ocean County VOTEC.
Correct. So I was a student at Ocean County Vocational School. I went through the program Culinary Arts. I got an articulation agreement scholarship. Went on to Johnston, Wales. Cooked out in the field, New England area, Mohegan Sun Casino, and a couple other restaurants. I came back to the vocational school as an instructional aide in the kitchen area, and a position opened up in the front of the house where I now hold as the front of the house instructor in the dining room.
Oh, that is great. Now, how many instructors are there at Ocean County VOTEC who do what you do?
Culinary arts?
Yeah, culinary arts.
We have 7 at the Brick Center. There's also the Waretown Center that's culinary, and we also have an adult education program down in the Atlantis Golf Course.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, actually, I was down there for an event where they cooked us dinner, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a quite little jewel down there.
It's an incredible program now, and they're the sole caterers down there too, aren't they?
Correct. I'm not sure how long the lease is exactly, but they are the adult education program down there at the golf course, and they held banquets. They're open to the public, and they're the only New Jersey public school that holds a liquor license also.
Oh wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is great. Now, how many students do you have in your program this year?
We're hanging around 185 for the Brick Center. Additional other programs, it could be upwards of the 250 marker.
Wow, that's a lot of students. Now, is that like 2 half days? Like you have some people come in the morning, some people come in the afternoon?
It's correct. For the high school programs, we're shared time. So you have an AM session that starts from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and then a PM session that goes from 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And all the students come from sending districts all throughout the entire county. So we have students that come from as far as like Pinelands up to Bricktown just to go through the culinary arts program. So they may have a travel period of like 45 minutes each way just to get there and back.
Now, do you get to teach great kids like Stephen Glassoff all the time?
That would be a stretch of the truth, but yeah, there is quite a few extra special students out there, which we have, but they're all great, really students, and it's great that what we have is a school of choice. So they chose to be in culinary arts. It's not that we made them do it. So in the high school, they went to their guidance counselor and said, "I want to be culinary arts." So you already have a great student right there. Is every single one of them going to be as equals all? No, it's to each its own at what you make of the program. It's how great you're going to be or what you're going to make of it.
So that brings us to Mr. Glassoff. And even though your mom's in the room, you can say whatever you want to say. So good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So where did your interest start relative to cooking?
Ever since I was young.
When you were young?
Yeah.
Because you're an old man now.
Yes.
Dad would always be making Saturday morning breakfast, pancakes. I'd always come and say, "Hey, Dad, can I flip a pancake?" He'd be, "Yeah, come on. Sure." And ever since then.
So it was in
cooking.
the kitchen with Dad, not Mom?
Correct.
Okay. That's
Pretty much.
Hey, that's great. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I grew up in a household with, it was just my mom and I and my sister, and I was in the kitchen all the time. And I'm the one who can cook. My sister can't even boil an egg. I mean, it's incredible. But for some reason, when they put a ring on her finger, she figured out how to read a cookbook. So you're already a couple steps ahead. So you got into high school. Now, did you do Ocean County VOTEC when you were in junior high? Is that available to you or no?
No. I actually started last year. This is my second year in the culinary arts program.
Okay. And I'd like to say that, I'm not quite sure, and Zach will have to confirm this. This may be the first guest who walked in with food for the green room.
I think so.
You know, we have a beautiful. Actually, Steven, tell me what we have here.
Right here we have strawberry cheesecake topped with fresh strawberries, and around it is crumbs.
And this was
crumbs.
made by
our class in the bakery.
in the bakery. Oh, very
Bakery
cool.
section.
So tell me a little bit about. So I know last year you competed in this. Was this the same competition you competed in, but it was just for condiments or something? Something it was very small. Tell me about what last year's contest was, and then this year how you ended up the grand champion.
Last year's competition was a cold foods competition, strictly only cold foods. We had to make a Mediterranean tuna wrap, chocolate mousse, a few other things also, coleslaw.
Okay. Now is this like I'm picturing like every now and then I watch that show with
Chopped, right.
with the crazy chef who's yelling at everybody, and
Hell's Kitchen,
it's
yeah.
timed Hell's Kitchen.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
timed. Is this timed?
Yes.
This was timed, yeah. Last year we had about 2 hours to do everything, and we did know our ingredients before, so we were prepared.
And last year you came in what place?
7th.
7th place out of the entire state,
Correct.
and that was your first year in the program.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And so this year you decided to top yourself.
Yeah. This year I did action skills job demo basically, and what that is it's open to every trade in a vocational school. You can do any skill you want, cosmetology to car maintenance to culinary. I did chicken fabrication in culinary arts, which is breaking down a chicken.
Now, I thought you made a chicken. I was like, I was sitting there thinking, is that like like fabricating a chicken from start to finish? I was like, that's pretty good. But okay, keep going. I'm sorry.
So we had to cut the chicken down in 7 minutes. We had 3 minutes to set up, 3 minutes to take down, and for every 30 seconds we went over, there was a time penalty.
Wow. So basically what you're telling me is someone threw a whole chicken in front of you. And basically you had I see shaking of hands.
Sort of. The competitor gets to choose what they want to demonstrate as a job skill. Okay. So the whole point of it is demonstrating a job skill in which the student learned at the vocational school, wherever they came from, whatever program. It's open to all. So he can be going up against someone changing a tire, and they're also looking at him, fabricating or breaking down a chicken. So it's the ability to basically teach a 5 to 7 minute lesson, and how well he's doing that. And almost like what you see in TV Magic when you watch these food shows, and they're very small bits. He has to put that all together while explaining and putting together a really good speech along with it. And I have to mention, I mean, he literally got a perfect score. Like out of 200, he got a 200. I've never seen that before.
Wow. And wait, maybe I missed the point here. So what you're telling me is you're not necessarily competing against other culinary students in the state who are breaking down you could be competing against somebody changing a tire, somebody
Correct.
putting a carburetor in. So it's just any vocational skill.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's much more wide open.
So wait, who came in second place? What'd they do?
I'm pretty sure they were building like some sort of box from
Carpentry kind of.
carpentry, yeah.
Okay, now I'm amazed even more. Okay, so and this is a skills test, and basically, who are the judges? Are they?
So Skills USA it's a national organization, and what they're called is VSOs, or vocational student organizations, and every vocational school in the country is eligible to be a part of, which we are 100% membership of. So by being a student, you're already automatically a member. The students have to choose if they want to compete or not to compete. It's almost like, think about it as a football team on your high school team. You don't have to be part of the football team, but if you want to be, you can be.
Right.
Exactly what Steve wanted to do. He wanted to compete. He chose to compete. He chose his competition, and he showed up.
Okay, great. Now, did you have any other students from the culinary program?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
How'd they fare?
As far as golds,
yes,
he's the only golds from there, but they all did quite well. We had quite a few in culinary arts. We had some people in the restaurant service where they do like front of the house service, where they run basically open and serve at a restaurant. They were in the commercial baking contest where they have like 4 hours to produce like all different types of pastries and things like that. There's a culinary arts one which they have to do a first course, an entree course, a dessert course all in that hour. And then there's also a whole entire wedding cake contest.
Wow, that is fantastic. We're going to go to break in a moment. We're going to eat some cheesecake at break. And when we come back, we want to talk a little bit more about what the next step is in Steven's quest to be the king of America's culinary arts.
So,
we'll be back in a moment.
Wake up with Jeremy Grunin wherever you go. Download the Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Get up, get out, do something. Wake up with Jeremy Grunin continues. News Talk Radio, WOBM AM 1160, 1310, and WOBMAM.com.
Good morning and welcome back to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. I am Phil Brilliant, pinch hitting for Jeremy this morning. It is 6:21, so if you wake up at 6:15 to get to school this morning, you're already 6 minutes late if you're still laying in bed. And we are joined here this morning by Stephen Glassoff and Bruce Vansickle of the Ocean County VOTEC Culinary Arts Program. And when we went to break, we gave you a little teaser there. We wanted to talk about, so Stephen is now headed to the World Championships. Now, tell us where you're going next.
It's the National Championships in Louisville, Kentucky.
And when is that?
It's June 20th. It starts and goes for about 5-6 days throughout. The competition days are alternating depending on what competition, which competition he's actually in. But he'll be there for pretty much the whole entire week of the week.
Okay. And tell us now. I'm going to ask. Do you know the experience? What are you going to be walking into? And I mean, his skills testing. How many things are there? And is this also the same setup where you're going to be competing skills against people who might be changing tires or doing hair, or is this strictly culinary?
It's going to be everything, maintenance on everything.
Mm.
Wow.
Same layout.
Same way out. And is it multiple days? So you basically, it's not just going to be one test and go home. It's going to be multiple competitions.
Depending on the enrollment, they'll stage it out, and there's a briefing, the competition, and then a debriefing. So they'll break those days down separately. The layout is similar to state level, but national level committee does things a little bit differently to level the playing field for all. But you're going up against, obviously now, not only just best in the state, now you're going up against best in the nation.
Right.
And it's not just the continuous 50. You're talking about Guam, Puerto Rico, everyone else all included also.
Wow. So now, how do we send somebody every year?
To nationals?
Yes.
Culinary arts?
Yes.
No, not every year.
When's the last time we sent somebody? There, I put you on the spot.
It's a good question. I'm going to have to Google that one. I don't know the answer. Last time we sent a culinary students to nationals. For action skills, we've sent in his competition a student, Chris, who's been staging and basically training with him to nationals, and he did also action skills, basically following a lot of the footprints in which that Steve is following in right now. That he was also a mainstream student and also went to action skills and also won states and went on to nationals. And he did it twice also too.
Oh, wow.
So we've sent people in the competition before in the past, but it's been 2-3 years. 2 years.
3 years. Now also, so when you went into the state competition, you picked the fabrication of a chicken, which still I love saying. And that was what you did. Now, do you get to choose what you're going to do in the nationals, or basically it's almost like they're going to give you a card and you have to look at that card and go forward? How's that going to work? Do you know?
It's totally open to you. You can do whatever skill you want. I could have done knife skills, different cuts of a vegetable, to cutting a chicken.
Yeah. So in class now, is this like, I know, they always talk about the fact that in the classroom, they're always teaching towards the park exam. So the question is, are you now teaching towards the national championships to try to hone every skill so that you're prepared if you have to go 3 to 5 days?
No, that's not what we do. We don't. A lot of it's possible other schools may or may not do that, but we have a curriculum that we still follow. I mean, on a day-to-day basis, he's still going through his bakery rotation right now. I mean, we'll pull away days that he can then practice and hone his skills and perfect it. Like he has a poster board that he's gonna perfect to be part of his presentation also. But he still has a curriculum that he still follows, and he'll take time aside or his own time to perfect this.
So he doesn't walk around with his championship belt, and he gets in the head of the classroom, and everybody else just follows what he does.
No, we're not elitists.
No elitists there. No. See, Stephen, even at home, and at school, it breaks your heart. So we were talking a little at the break about so VOTEC. So you made the choice to go, and you started last year as a sophomore.
Correct.
Okay, and it's a 2-year program, but Stephen came in as an IEP. Is that what you said?
Correct.
Okay, and then so you'll finish out your senior year, and but VOTEC is a choice that people make.
Correct.
That students make, and it's different than their 7 or 8 periods that they may be in that one day.
Correct.
You know, we're going to be going to a news break in a minute. We're going to come back and talk about that after the news break. We're also going to give you both the Jeremy Grunin Magic Wand. And I know that Bruce, Mr. Vansickle, doesn't know exactly what that is. So the question is if we're going to tell him what it is or not. You know, he may have to, be put on the spot, or we prep him over break as to what to do with this magic wand. But please join the conversation at 732-505-1160. We will be back in a moment.
Wake up with Jeremy Grunin. Take the show wherever you go. Download the free Radio Pup app for your smartphone or tablet. Join the conversation. 732-505-1160. News Talk Radio WOBM AM 1160 and 1310. Listen online at WOBMAM.com.
Welcome back to Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. I am Phil Brilliant, and we are continuing our conversation here at 6:33 in the morning with Stephen Glassoff and Bruce Vansickle of the Ocean County VOTEC Culinary Program, and Stephen, the grand champion of the Skills Program here in New Jersey, heading off to Louisville in June. I was going to ask you, do you get to bring cheerleaders?
Unfortunately not.
No cheerleaders.
No.
Is there cheerleaders in the culinary program?
No, to this date, there's not.
There's not. That might be something we got to work on, But one of the things I wanted to talk about was so that VOTEC, it's a choice made by the students.
Correct.
And this happens to be a half-day program. I know some of the programs could be longer.
Some of the are academies.
And we did learn at the break that Zach was in the VOTEC program in Waretown.
Yes, I was.
In, what'd you say, law and safety?
Law and public safety.
Law and public safety. And it taught you that you didn't want to go to law and public safety.
Didn't really want to go down that path, but I'm happy to be here on the radio with you guys now.
Yes, you keep saying that. They pay you for that. So, Bruce, tell us. Sorry, Bruce. Can I call you Bruce?
Go ahead.
Okay. I don't want to say Mr. Vansickle.
No.
I'm always nervous when we have principals or teachers.
I go Chef Bruce anyway, so I'm not my last name. Anyway.
Chef Bruce, I like that. That's good. So tell us about when the students make the choice into VOTEC.
Correct.
And how they balance out their educational aspect of English, math, and everything they need to do, and then VOTEC into the program.
It's a good question. So there is actually articulation with English and math class and science class. So we do actually give English grades, math grades, science grades, along with the culinary arts grades, because we do give credits to the for the students for their high schools to get enough credits to graduate for their high school requirements. They also have to maintain their standard school classes at their home school also. So there is a credits that they have to come by from their requirements from homeschool, plus what we give also, so that it comes together so that they can graduate on time and also be part of the culinary arts program.
Wow, and as far as the VOTEC programs throughout the county, so we have culinary arts, we have automotive, we heard law and public safety. How many different disciplines are there?
Whew, man, that's a number. The number I don't know, but I want to say there's DVC, which is digital visual communication, which is like graphic design. There's childcare, which my son even goes to a part of. Actually, he's part of the childcare program. They learn early childhood development. There's cosmetology. There's auto maintenance. There's carpentry. There is even now architectural and drafting and design. There's the Mates Academy, which is marine biology. There's the adult education at Atlantis. Their law and public safety is now an academy also. There's the Performing Arts Academy, which is in Lakehurst also, which they do really, really nice shows.
Are we seeing a trend of students more and more into the vocational type programs?
Yeah, this whole spectrum of CTE, career technical education, it should be highlighted much, much more, because this is what brings jobs back to America, and this is what what everyone should be talking about. Less stress on testing.
Does it make America great again?
Or what Steve likes to say is "Mac make America great again." His little menu he created. But I guess I would say it like that. But that's kind of what we have to go towards. I mean, focusing so much on standardized testing doesn't get students jobs. That's the fact of the matter is.
Right.
Giving them a trade and a skill when they leave a high school program, well, that gets them a job. It gives them hope. I'm not sure I could say because you can pass the test you can now get a job. That's not really what I could sign off on. But if I leave a student and I know he has a job related skill, and I have jobs lined up for that student, which a vocational school does, that's what I'd feel more comfortable doing if it was my child going through a program.
And as a parent, that would exactly be what I want to hear.
Yeah,
that's what I want to hear from the teachers, the educators. It's interesting. I just finished a year of college tours with my daughter, who's a high school senior. You guys will be starting that soon and looking at all the colleges.
soon.
And, going to the different schools, some of the schools talked about what you're doing in classroom and, the grades and about travel, but didn't talk about the career paths.
Mm-hmm.
And the school that talked most about the career paths, luckily, is the school my daughter decided to go to. I'm happy about that. But it's really, and having a teacher talk about that in the high school program is fantastic. Because I'm sure that gets brought right into the classroom, and these kids, as they're finishing the VOTEC program, they're looking to their future.
Yeah.
And again, you made that personal decision, Stephen, to go to VOTEC and to really learn something more than just what's in a book, which is great. Which brings us into, I think that you kind of think about a little bit about dreaming when you made that choice in the culinary. So the Jeremy Grunin, magic wand is that other opportunity to dream, to where you can, change somebody's life, change a program, do whatever you want to do, unlimited resources, and you definitely, can make a change in somebody's life or in the world. So we will first ask Stephen, what would you do with your Jeremy Grunin magic wand?
What I would do with the Jeremy Grunin wand is I'd probably move our restaurant at our school to the White House. We'd be cooking in the White House for the president.
What president would you be cooking for?
I'm not sure.
That's a big question.
President.
A new president? Is that the answer?
Yeah.
A new president. And that's cool. And actually, we'll get back to that in a second. How about Bruce? What would you do with your magic wand?
I'd have to give back to the vocational school because it's given me so much, given the students so much. Newer updated equipment, newer designed, cosmetically, really. The school is so generous. They never really used the word no for us when we asked for new equipment for the students at all. But always more and better and more beautiful, always brings more in, and it just brings back a better overall education. So, better equipment, modernized equipment, and just a newer facility, which always is best needed for a growing thing.
That is great, and I think Stephen thought a little bit out of the box, though. I like that, to go to the restaurant in the White House. But we were talking a little bit about break that you actually do serve the public. Tell me exactly what you're doing.
Sure. So I teach front of the house, which is the dining room procedures classroom, and my students, they serve lunch open to the public on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on our Chambers Bridge Road facility at the Brick Center, and it's open to the public 11:30, and you have to be sat by 12 o'clock, and there will be a line. It gets backed up, and we also do banquets for a lot of things in the district and other government associations in the Ocean County area. Like, for example, we have a breakfast going on for the Brick Chamber of Commerce this morning.
Okay, great. And I know actually I missed that meeting, but you did the Greater Toms River Chamber of Commerce, I think, back in March.
We did.
Had a breakfast meeting there. I was unfortunately out of town that day.
You did.
But Jeremy was at that
Yes, he
one.
was. He
Yes,
was.
we can never be in the same place together. People start talking if we're together. But so 11:30 lunch, I'm assuming there's a charge for lunch.
Correct.
Okay. Is it a nominal charge, or are you competing with Applebee's?
That's a good example of what it should be called as nominal charge. Like, for example, you might charge $8 for a steak, kind of an entree, which also comes with a first course and a dessert and unlimited beverages. So
wow.
So it's kind of like McDonald's pricing at like a 5-star restaurant.
And this is Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yep.
11:30 till
12 o'clock, 12:15. You have to be sat by.
You have to be sat by.
Because the students will leave by 1 o'clock.
That is fantastic. Do you get a good crowd?
About 50, 60 people per day, which is the at capacity for our establishment.
Okay. And give me one more time, what's the exact address?
350 Chambers Ridge Road in Brick, New Jersey.
So people should go out today and have lunch. It'll be good. We want to make sure that we wish Stephen good luck in June and make sure that we track your success. If people are interested, students, parents, in the Ocean County VOTEC program for next year, is it too late for them to enroll?
Not at all. Just either guidance counselors or check us out on OCVTS.org. And any one of your school guidance counselors will send you in the right direction.
Okay. I'd like to thank both Stephen Glassoff and Bruce Vansickle for joining us here this morning on Wake Up with Jeremy Grunin. Enjoy your day. We'll be back in a moment.